Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. They're at it again.
Yes, these two are nonstop playing. And please excuse the mess. Excuse the rugs up on the fence as we are beating them the old fashioned way. And really, we're just tearing down in order to make things anew, as this whole planet is doing that right now.
So many people are it seems like they're remaking their lives. They're figuring out what works, what doesn't work. They are allowing that no longer serves them to possibly go and maybe that thing that you let go somebody else needed and they're processing it now. So it's all about teamwork in many ways.
So, what we're going to do for the time being is, we have 1 week suspension from YouTube. But when they've done this before, too, when it comes to that week being up, it's like they tend to find another video and then they give you a strike for that video. And this is on evolutionary energy arts that we're talking about. And then you end up not being able to post for a month. And then everybody starts to drift away. Now, we were gaining a lot of traction, and it was actually surprising me over there that we were gaining so much traction because we know they distort numbers and they obviously block content. And so I was kind of waiting for it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I expected it to happen. So EEARTS, we've been a little bit more careful on EEARTS as to not speaking so openly about things, but basically still giving the message and focusing a little more on the spiritual. Again, we are on Brighteon, and we are on Bitchute, and we are on Rumble, and I'll probably add one or two more. And ultimately, we're going to try to shift the main focus over to our own website, which other people have talked about, and it might ultimately be. We have one friend that's inside the DHS that said that would be a wise thing to do because ultimately that might be the only place you can put up information that the powers that be don't want going up.
Right. I mean, it right now seems like there's a push all of a sudden to silence people who might be speaking too much truth, and they do that in various ways. They can go through other entities, they can use other beings, they can, even when it comes to evolutionary, it's like they just make up the rules, whatever suits them, and then they yank something. So there's so many ways they can get to us, and then we have to look at that and mirror it, and we have to be able to get to you guys in a bunch of different ways.
So yeah, there was a video that several of you sent at the same time yesterday saying you got to see this. And it was Mike Adams' Health Ranger report yesterday where he was talking about information coming from J.R. Nyquist about the fact that there is an attack planned on the USA by China and Russia. And it's Ukraine is just a diversion. And, for us, yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, we've always known this. And I've got that down in video since 2017. That this is the plan, and of course we want to manifest a positive future, but at the same time, has happened? Has it happened? Yeah, of course it's happened, and there is this consensus reality that we are all experiencing. We can make changes easier to our individual reality than we can to the consensus reality, because consensus is part of the reality of more than one person. So when you still have the majority of the world expecting death, disaster, doom, gloom, an Armageddon type scenario, then that is playing through people's subconscious, and that's why we are always going back to belief systems and saying they control us through the belief systems because they gave us the belief systems in the first place in many cases. Secondly, we can pick up on timelines. Anybody can pick up on timelines. And this is just part of our innate human ability, and really the ability of anything in all of creation, as creation is creation for consciousness. Ultimately, we are consciousness. This is a temporary journey. Last night I didn't sleep much, if at all, and I don't know if I don't
we
think
both
so.
had a long night.
Yeah,
the
no,
pups
it's
slept great though.
the pups did sleep good, but no, we haven't slept, but we're also on a fast again.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're doing so much fasting is because we want just be able to discern. We don't want all their toxic chemicals, additives, even in the stuff that says it's organic. There's still stuff in there. Food is irradiated. Hello, why would you irradiate food? Oh, we're doing it for your good. No, you're not. That's what they sell us, but the reality is something totally, totally different. We've been in a prison planet, and we, don't, unfortunately, the masses haven't realized, but there is an energy wave, and we could talk more about that energy wave. As I was just discussing it with our good friend David Devine, DAP 2030, because everything is going down now. This summer is going to be one for the history books. It really is, and I do completely. It's not even just expect. I know it's going to happen. As far as the attack on the U.S., it's a given. It's always been part of their plan. So, can we stop it when everybody in power right now, when the militaries are still controlled by the same people? No, not unless we all of a sudden had millions of people, millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of people rolling out into the streets and saying, hey, we're not going to take this system anymore. That's what has to happen. When you look at what's going on geopolitically, and you look, I was just reading what they're expecting to happen, because again, 2022 is a S parentheses election parentheses year, and you look at how people have been very unhappy in some areas with leadership, and yet they're projected to win by a landslide. Hello, wakey, wakey. This is where people gotta wake up en masse to where there really is going to be change. There's a reason why they are going for the number 2 amendment now, because we're very, very close. We're really, really close to them implementing the next stage of the plan, which is basically that Red Dawn scenario. And will it happen this year? I feel there's a very, very high probability it will. And every day it feels like that probability is increasing. So what do we do? Again, prepare as best you can. Really work out with your neighbors as much as you can. Be prepared to just hunker down inside your house. Stay inside your house, and the chaos that can come. You might have military patrols going up and down your street, and I don't want to bring fear into the equation, but can you survive just basically in your backyard, maybe in your front yard too, and with what you have in the house? We went and we made a run into town. It was a tale of two stores. The big conglomerate actually had stock, and all the prices went up. Now the smaller grocery store chains, the prices went through the roof, and there were major holes. And again, this is going to be because in the future there's only going to be the corporate places to shop. We are even more going into a reality where we know outright the corporations run everything. The Great Reset includes the dismantling of the illusion. They have one more trick card up their sleeves to play with, the third WW, hashtag the third great conflagration. But after that, countries don't need to exist anymore. And so that's when everything will openly shift to the corporate powers really running the world.
And right now it's a lot of psychologically preparing people for acceptance. So they're very, very good at doing things in such a slow way, making changes in such a slow way that people don't revolt. But what I think we need to do is make sure and keep a list of reasons why we are trying to make ourselves more sustainable, and look over that note every day. Okay, this is my why. And instead of just dismissing the old things or old things that they have put out there or forgetting about them, I think it would be good to have a list of things that they're continually doing, and that way it's always right on our forefront. We are very committed to our need and our desire for change and sovereignty.
Absolutely. So when we, look at what we expect to come down the line, again, this is not what we want, but this is the reality of what we're being faced with. It's going to be a very, very challenging period of time. Again, just ask yourself, what's their end goal? They obviously want everybody in their system, which includes everybody being able to be controlled by them. Totally. If you watched the video that we put up on Rumble, Brighteon, and Bitchute, the one that was an hour and 7 minutes long, and then immediately when I didn't even go to upload it, we got done taping it, and I went to YouTube, and then it popped up because they could tell what content I was going to upload. It went to YouTube and automatically said, you have a strike, you will not be able to post for a week. And I do expect them to sift through, and they'll find something else to find, so we can't post for another week. So we will keep going accordingly as long as we can. I know most of you guys understand that Cindy and I do not do this for the money. We do it because this is the entire reason why we incarnated on this planet at this time in the first place. It's all about this particular mission. This is what we do as souls. We come back to help people throughout this time, again and again and again, as we are able to see, and thankfully the guides have helped us to see, what we've achieved in past lives. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're doing right now, and we're really getting into the thick of things. And last night, the guys were with us all night, just basically encouraging us, because now it's really go time. Everything else that you've seen up to here has been nothing. It's been a drop in the bucket to what we're going to be facing now. So we really have to prepare ourselves, because most of you that are watching us, you guys are on the same mission we are. You're part of the resistance. You're systems busters, you're rebels. You're here with a purpose, and your purpose is to change this system. So it's go time, guys. It's totally go time. So we need to be extra focused. We need to pay more attention to our spiritual practice, the mantras, the meditation. We want to share a lot more with that. And it's so fascinating to see how the computer reacts when we go to upload certain things. If you were just to give the news, just plain the news, it runs through its checks right away. Okay, no problems found, go ahead. And when we even talk energy work and the reality that your consciousness can affect your health in such a positive way, little things like meditation, yoga, and Qigong practice can alleviate the need to go see a DR. Then the checks run, and they might run for an hour or two. Even if the video's, 1/5 of what that long news video was. Mm-hmm. Because it's their control paradigm they don't want being exposed. But that's exactly what's happening. This energy wave that's impacting us now is going to wake up so much of the sleeping masses. And all of a sudden, they're going to realize, hey, we've been getting played for fools. And they're not going to be happy about that. And that's part of what's coming right now.
It's okay, baby.
As Sita's not happy about it.
No.
And Sita will be 6 months old in a week. Mm-hmm. As Ram's coming on my lap.
Yeah.
So that's what we just wanted to share with you guys. You have to prepare as best as possible for everything that's coming. it's going to be a challenging time. And, we're not pulling punches with that. We're telling you truthfully. And, many of the, I don't know, the Love and Light Brigade, you might want to call it, that want to focus on a positive shift to 5D without there being any sort of rough patch to go through. It's not how it works. The system is not going to just let you go. It has to be totally collapsed.
Well, it does. And when you are kind of a system buster, it's not going to be easy because they desperately need that system in place for their agenda to have control. So, no, it's not going to be an easy go. And we really have to watch out for each other and encourage each other, help each other through this, stick together to the best of our abilities and motivate each other, because I think one of the hardest things to do when you're breaking down a whole system is, gosh, staying motivated, because it is kind of like going uphill. So even if you are in alignment for something, and it is your purpose, it doesn't always mean it's going to be an easy go, especially when you're going against the controllers.
Yeah, and absolutely, this joy, this joyride we're on, so to speak, this wild, crazy ride, is one that many souls would look at us and say, guys, this is kind of crazy. You sure you want to do this one?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a unique individual that's here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 66%, 2/3 of these souls on this planet haven't experienced anything but this planet, so they just don't know. But about a third of you guys out here, you're what they would call fallen angels, in that you've already been on the higher densities and other worlds as well, and other planets as well, and have chosen to come to help this one out at this critical juncture. So yeah, you guys are rebels out there, and I know that many of you understand that's your purpose, to break this down, to break down this system. So this energy wave that's coming, and it feels like it's going to be manifested this summer, and it's starting to hit already, it's going to make you uncomfortable. It might make you have all sorts of physical symptoms. You might have crazy things going on physically that you've never experienced before. But this is, again, it's just part of the bigger picture, and it has to happen. So as always, guys, we want to thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Please share your experiences, what you're each feeling and thinking and experiencing. It's a wild time, and it's pretty wild. As I was sharing with Cindy last night, when the guides came, I always see them as energy waves, but I was seeing them clearer than I've ever seen them before, with the visible eyes and the third eye. And that's what's happening. Our in many cases, our visible eyes and our third eye are integrating, and we're going to be in that time where all these mythical creatures and beings, they're actually going to be right out there in front of us once again.
Mm-hmm. And it definitely starts with perception, and watch out for that sensory overload, because it's only natural as you begin to perceive more that you get into that sensory overload, and that looks like usually a lot of anxiety, and that's where you want to get the meditation going to quiet your senses and just give them a little break, and we'll be going deeper on that too.
Absolutely. We love you guys. God bless and namaste.
Much love. Namaste.